Chiefs Kingdom, the climate has completely changed, and what's happening now could directly impact the future of the Kansas City Chiefs next season. Fans are in shock, analysts are surprised, and the NFL's backstage is on fire. But before we dive into all the details, if you're a true member of the Chiefs Kingdom, like this video. And if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss any updates about the Chiefs, because what's happening could completely change the course of our offseason. While many people thought Kansas City would have a quiet offseason, focused only on minor adjustments around Patrick Mahomes, an unexpected move shook the conference. Rivals are making moves, important decisions are being made behind the scenes, and each choice can directly affect the race to the top of the AFC. So stick with me until the end, because what I'm going to tell you today can explain. Let's start in the trenches, because that's where championships are truly won. The name gaining traction behind the scenes is Rasheed Walker, currently with the Green Bay Packers and about to test the market. Drafted only in the 7th round of the 2022 draft, Walker began his career as a backup, but became a starter in 2023 and has since established himself as a reliable tackle. He's not a perfect quarterback protector, but still struggles to create space in the running game. Even so, starting tackles are rare in the NFL, and that alone makes him extremely valuable. And here's the point that raises the alarm in Kansas City. According to journalist Jason La Canfora, the main interested parties are the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots. But why is this potential competition attracting so much attention? Because the Chiefs have already invested heavily in the position recently, and any new move could completely change the offensive line for 2026. To put it bluntly, Jawan Taylor was a disappointment. Signed with high expectations, he had another extremely underwhelming season protecting Patrick Mahomes. And with Mahomes recovering from an ACL tear, the franchise's #1 priority is clear and non-negotiable: protection. Young Josh Simmons showed some interesting flashes, but hasn't yet established himself as a definitive solution. Jalen Moore, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, is a solid, competent player, but lacks the impact that changes the level of the offensive line. Now imagine a bold scenario. The Chiefs sign Rasheed Walker to play left tackle, move Josh Simmons to the right side, and keep one of the best inside lines in the NFL intact. The result? A true wall to protect Mahomes upon his return. And that could be the difference between just a recovery season or another strong run towards the Super Bowl. But this isn't the only gigantic decision being made in Kansas City, and what comes next could further affect the franchise's future. Now get ready, because what's at stake could truly mark the end of an era in Kansas City. We are possibly facing the last contract of the career of one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history, Travis Kelce. At 36 years old, Kelce continues to defy time, physical wear and tear, and the league's constant renewal. He has just been selected for the Pro Bowl for the 11th consecutive time, a feat that reinforces his elite status even at a later stage of his career. We're not just talking about longevity, but about high-level productivity. Even with Patrick Mahomes out for the last 3 games of the season due to injury, Kelce finished 2025 with 76 receptions, 851 yards, and 5 touchdowns. It's true that these numbers don't represent the statistical peak he reached in previous seasons, when he easily surpassed the 1,000-yard mark, but they still place him among the most productive tight ends in the league. Beyond the statistics, there's something that doesn't appear on the spreadsheet: leadership, game reading, chemistry with the quarterback, and the ability to decide games in crucial moments. Kelce remains a central piece in the offensive system. The biggest obstacle, however, isn't performance, it's money. The Chiefs began the offseason facing a gigantic impact on the salary cap, mainly because of Mahomes' contract, which represented $78.2 million against the cap. The front office needed to act quickly and creatively, restructuring the quarterback's deal and converting $54.45 million into a signing bonus. This maneuver generated an immediate relief of $43.56 million, giving the franchise breathing room. Even so, every dollar available now is strategic and needs to be calculated with extreme precision. The projected market value for Kelce is around $10.8 million for a 1-year contract, a significant drop compared to the average. The previous value was approximately $17 million US. This reduction reflects his age, but also opens up room for negotiation. Coach Andy Reid was direct in commenting on the situation. There's communication, that's the main thing. The phrase shows that there is no rupture or declared impasse. Conversations are happening, and the dialogue remains open. And here is the decisive point. If Kelce accepts a discount to remain in Kansas City, the Chiefs gain flexibility to attack free agency more aggressively and reinforce urgent positions on the roster. If he chooses to seek maximum market value, the team's financial planning could change drastically. Owner Clark Hunt has already stated that the organization hopes to have him back, but the final decision rests with the player himself. The question hanging over Kansas City is inevitable. Will Kelce prioritize his legacy, ending his career where he built his history and became an idol, or will he seek the best possible financial return. The decision needs to happen before March 11th, when free agency officially begins. While that answer is still pending, the fans' anxiety only grows, because this decision could define not only the team's immediate future, but also the closing of a legendary chapter in the franchise's history. Yes, we need to talk about this seriously. Patrick Mahomes is recovering from an ACL tear, and although the franchise maintains full confidence in his recovery, the exact time frame for his return is still uncertain. And when it comes to the organization's most important player, any uncertainty becomes a top priority. Today, the roster has clear doubts at the backup quarterback position. Gardner Minshew is heading to free agency after injury, Chris Oladokun hasn't convinced in the opportunities he's had, and Jake Haener is far from a guarantee. In other words, if Mahomes needs more time, who takes over? That's where an intriguing name emerges. ESPN listed the New Orleans Saints quarterback Spencer Rattler as one of the top candidates to trade. In 2 years in the league, Rattler has accumulated 2,903 yards, 12 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and 14 starts. These aren't star numbers, but they demonstrate something valuable: real-world experience on the field. Furthermore, he still has 2 years left on his rookie contract, with a minimal impact on the salary cap somewhere between $1.1 and $1.2 million. For a team that needs to balance every penny, that's a significant factor. There's also an interesting precedent. The Green Bay Packers gambled on recovering Malik Willis, who had failed with the Tennessee Titans, and turned that gamble into a valuable asset with the potential for a high compensatory draft pick. Could general manager Brett Veach repeat this strategy? Under Andy Reid's leadership, Rattler would work within a much more structured and development-friendly offensive system, and perhaps most importantly, he wouldn't create controversy in the locker room, but would offer security should Mahomes need more time to return to his best form. And what does all this mean? The Chiefs are facing 3 decisions that could define 2026. Investing heavily to rebuild Mahomes' protection, defining Travis Kelce's future and legacy, and finding a strategic and affordable backup quarterback, all while carefully balancing the salary cap. Next week could completely change the franchise's course. And I ask you, fan, would you bring in Rasheed Walker? Would you pay Kelce's full value? Would you bet on Spencer Rattler? Because one thing is certain: Kansas City isn't standing still. The moves being prepared could put the team back on top of the NFL or mark the beginning of a new transition phase. And so we continue, Chiefs Nation, attentive to every move. The franchise's future is being shaped now, and any decision could completely change the team's destiny. If you want to stay up to date on all the updates, analyses, and behind-the-scenes information firsthand, leave your like because it greatly helps the channel grow and bring more exclusive content to Kansas City Chiefs fans.